During the applications of these equations, I would like to notice something about our planet. Our planet has many different peoples and countries with many different cultures. I'm not concerned with the different peoples and countries as well as I am with the different cultures. Um, there are many different cultures on our planet. Not only that, but these cultures reserve the right to defend themselves with force to the point that other people's countries can be seen as enemies or even like demons or not worthy of any sort of human respect for than the people who they are by themselves. So basically, well, our planet has limitations, right? So I have a fence, right? And we're gonna portion off this side of the fence, and the people who actually did this to other people who are not expecting this to happen are going to try to breach their own fence and try to attack the people who have not built a fence because, well, they're not really they don't because they don't they're not really thought about the implications of other people trying to kill them. So now that the same people who have built this fence say, hey, I've built this fence, now you're not supposed to come and breach my fence. But really, they are building up defenses against people who don't have a fence because it's not their fence. This also refers to the concept of ownership, where there is a difference between whether I say I own something versus whether I think I own something. Like, for instance, I have had dreams where there are these relics and they're supposed to be houses, and what happened was the age had passed for building houses, so they just kind of walked through the old villages of people who wrote stories about how they used to live in these shelters made out of stone. And of course, this seems very ridiculous to you, but if you actually try to explain how you live to them, they will do the same thing that you are reacting to right now. Probably is that this is totally ridiculous, and I can move in and out of any house which doesn't have any doors or windows because they all went to rot by that time, as any other person. And I can store my food there, and I can store clothing there, and I can move any amount of things from one house to the other because of these old relics. And even if I build any amount of new houses, this still does not give me the right to refuse other people entrance unless I specifically state that this is my property with these conditions that you are not allowed to enter for these given reasons. Okay? And so now it's gotten to the point where a lot of people live in a lot of little fences, and they're expected to do so and not come out, even though in nature the animals, they roam free, and when there is rain, they go underground, and when there is sun, they go under trees. And there are also animals that will still build houses that they will live in until they die. These are called ants, and they are very small, and they are very brittle, and they have very short lifespans, and they are blind. They are all blind, and they can't see light. What else are we going to talk about? So this is the open plain, right? There's no bodies of water on this planet, let's say, and for some reason there's this big country here and a lot of teeny little countries here for some reason. So I'm trying to wonder if there is a geomagnetic anomaly that results for the fracturing of cultures and languages, and why these very similar people have such different customs, and why they enforce so strongly so as to require special permissions simply to enter what is deemed as one sort of territory or another sort of territory. Another concept in mankind's history I would like to get into is the walking siege tower. The walking siege tower. Okay. This is a walking siege tower. I'm going to explain something. This is the walking siege tower. These are ramparts which can be drawn up and drawn down when approaching a castle wall or barracks of fortification or school or whatever. And this is like a wall, and they drop these ramps, and then they try to enter into the wall from the top of the wall, but apparently completely forgetting about the concept of a roof. And they can also put cannons on this tower and shoot over the wall, and shoot into the wall, and shoot at the wall. And the intriguing purpose of this was partly to strike fear into other people. So let me try to understand this properly. You're a person, and you may not particularly fear this other person, but you have been enlisted into the army for some reason. Okay, which is what people did a lot back then. And you have to follow these instructions in building this tower, which is supposedly going to frighten you, who are going to be storming another person's castle with their siege tower. So, should I be particularly afraid of any sort of siege tower then, if that is really what it is for? Because for all things that should be feared while you're immortal, the only things that you should be fearing are the fact that people are trying to make you... Actually, no, not even, because if I'm trying to make you scared, that's the same as you trying to make me scared of something. So if I don't like being afraid, then I shouldn't be going to be striking fear on you. And if I am liking being afraid, then that's weird. Why would you like being afraid? But if you like being afraid, then you should be expecting other people to strike fear into you. Right? So if you're expecting other beings to strike fear into you, then there must be some sort of commonality with this thing that's also a source of fear, that you have appreciated its fear for, but really it serves no purpose for you, because fear serves the purpose of removing purpose from things. If you can understand that, then fear goes in a healthy way. Fear can become something very healthy, and not lead to something that gives rise to physical destructions and the fracturing of a person's mind, like for instance the case of this planet with free people and logical people and these kinds of people. To make things simpler, I drew this.